Alright, we just got back from locals. Actually, it was a couple days ago there. I hadn't had a chance to record this video just yet, but now I have. And we took Rescue Ace. And we did get second placed after the tiebreakers. It was a 4-round locals, so it wasn't all that big. And the losses were all to time. So I probably think that if I just played the deck quicker, I probably could have easily gotten first place. But I won. The first round was against Radiant Typhoon. Second round was against Fiendsmith Elftnote. And third round was against Solfachord Darklord. And the fourth round was against Mermail Atlantean. I'm going to post in the description there a bit more in depth of my matches there. But as for now, we'll just go over the deck list there and my choices. As for some of the big Rescue Ace monsters, you are playing 1 Turbulence and 2 Preventer. 2 Preventer is pretty standard across all Rescue Ace lists. 1 Turbulence has gotten more standard. Early on in Rescue Ace, you did have to play 2 because there was a huge threat of losing 1. So you'd always want to be able to, if you have 1 on field, if they try and negate it or get rid of it some way, you can chain an emergency to tag out Turbulence for Turbulence. But that really doesn't matter that much anymore, and it's kind of a brick anyway, so you'd rather only search it than see it in your opening hand. Not much to be said other than that. As for another big Rescue Ace you're playing, I am playing 1 Fire Engine. I'm not playing the Fire Attacker, is a bit too gambly, while Fire Engine, it comes up so much. This card is really good, especially with you playing Impulse. This just guarantees that you have a play going second. If you Impulse, summon Fire, and then summon Airlifter, you always have a play come your turn, basically. As for the smaller Rescue Ace, you are playing 3 Airlifter. Probably non-negotiable to play this at 3. This is your best normal summon, your best starter. It's your 1-card starter. So you want to max it out, and you always want to see it. And in very niche scenarios, you have its tag out effect, which I did once, actually. And I love this card so much. Rescue Ace Impulse. This card is so good. I love this card in so many ways. In-engine arc handtrap, basically. It feels so good. Being able to resolve this on the opponent's turn, again, you just summon Fire Engine, then Fire Engine will then summon Fire Lifter, and then you're just off to the races there. And I did actually use its field effect a couple times there. Very good for pushing or forcing interruptions in some way. And now for your other level 3, you're playing 3 of the new one. This is the Rescue Ace Quick Attacker. At first I thought this card was pretty bad, and I still don't think it's that great. But in a deck where we're limited on access to starters, this card is phenomenal going second. This card is really good going second, and it's just fine. Maybe going first is just okay. I think this card really shines going second. It's immaculate that way. Being able to tag out to any Rescue Ace name is really good. If this was only a quick effect, it would be a lot better going first. And then I am playing 3 Hydrant. At first I was playing 2, but when you consider into the factor of Quick Attacker, you always want to have a Rescue Ace name, so Hydrant is your best other normal summon other than Airlifter. So if you have like Airlifter, it gets negated. You can still do something with Quick Attacker, but having Hydrant as well is on your similar case. So Hydrant also baits a lot. There are times where you start with using Preventer to summon it by banishing something, and then you just normal summon Hydrant. Immediately that puts a lot of pressure because the Book of Moon is live with Preventer, and Hydrant can't be targeted. I think it's pretty good at 3, actually. I was surprised how well I actually liked it at 3, but it is probably good to stay at 3. That's it for the Rescue Ace monsters. So for other monsters we're playing, just 3 Fualos. Pretty self-explanatory, not much to be said. It's just really good hand trap. 3 Ash, it stops charmies sometimes. You can add it back with Sunlight Wolf, which is kind of cool. And then I'm playing 3 Ghost Spell. This card was like mediocre in the main. It's definitely something you should probably side, because it's not good in every matchup, but it is good in a good amount of matchups, but not quite main deckable. So I would definitely change this to the side. I will say this now, I'm not playing Dominus Impulse because I don't have any. So in reality, this should probably be Dominus Impulse. You should probably swap the bells for Dominus Impulse if you have them. For spells now, we are playing 3 Emergency. Very good card. You always want to see it in your hand. Its recycle effect is pretty relevant for the grind game too. Not much to be said. It's a very powerful card. For the other Rescue Ace spells, you are playing 1 Rescue, 1 Alert, and then 1 HQ. HQ has become more mandatory now that the new Link monster searches it, so it doesn't feel like a hassle to get, and it feels less bad. And then the other 2 are self-explanatory. They're part of combo, and then part of basically end board. So not much to be said there about those. This card is amazing. This card is what saved me from losing a couple games against Mermail Atlantean. They summoned a small turtle that prevents you from summoning stuff over 1800 attack. And against the Darklord player, they summoned Krystiya on me. And funny enough, both those times I got floodgated from either the Darklord or Krystiya, or from the little turtle. I had Droplet and I could break the board every time. Without Droplet, I was scooping on the spot. But I did have Droplet, so it's pretty mandatory. And if you consider Prosp with this as well, it could just be more consistency to it. Speaking of that, we do have Prosp. 1-for-1 and Rhoda, these are just consistency pieces. 1-for-1 is really weird. I sided out every time going second because having to go so minus is not very good, especially going into a board. And there could even be cases where you might even be able to cut this if you, depending how the non-engine and stuff goes into the next format, see what's good. Just because it's such a minus, and you might not even need it anymore. I only activated it one game. There was another game I did see it, but I had a better play, so this was basically just a dead card in my hand, so it's fine, probably to stay. Rhoda is just, as long as Droll is not main decked, which I don't think every deck is main decking it right now, Rhoda's fine. And then Prosp is still like a busted card. It's broken every time you see it. Last spell, just called by. It single-handedly wins games. And for the last traps, I am playing 1 Contain, so that is the Imperm trap, and Reinforce. I am not playing Extinguish, because I think Extinguish is pretty bad. Having a pop on a trap, you don't really need it anymore now that the Link 4 basically does the same thing. Reinforce, oh my goodness. This card is amazing. You should be main decking this every time. This card is the single reason why I feel like my deck was actually doing anything against any matchup. I can't stress it. Being able to make one of your guys a towers, it forces removal in a weird way on it, and then being able to reset something like a spell. Like for example, if you are going first and you happen to have to use rescue on your turn, right? On the opponent's turn, you go reinforce onto something, and then you can reinforce in the same turn to reset the rescue, and then it's immediately live if you have Hydrant. So it's really good. You could technically still play Extinguish if you want, but I never missed it. No case. There was no game or no scenario where I missed having Extinguish. These are the only traps you need. That is there for the main deck. As for the extra deck, you are playing the big new Rescue Ace himself. I did find that there's a couple times where if you get drolled or something like that, it's not like end of the world depending what your hand is, but you still want to make or get into this guy as a part of your end board, because it does obviously, it's a double pop, right? So you do want to do that. And then you sometimes would want to get another one. If you don't have access to the field spell, then you want to have another one to get to the field spell. So it could be a world I actually play a second one. It only came up 2 games where I would have liked to do it, but it wasn't the end of the world. It was like, fine. So it's up to you. As for your other Link 4s, you are playing there's a very classic package for this deck. You're playing Raging Phoenix and you're playing World Sea Dragon Zealantis. It's basically an OTK. You go into Raging Phoenix, link it off into Zealantis. Zealantis reset the whole board, and then you go Promethean Princess to pop a monster of fire you control and one of their monsters. Promethean comes back, Raging Phoenix triggers, comes back, so you have a lot of damage there on field. Link 3s, again, Promethean Princess, absolutely mandatory. Could be a world you play too, depending if you're really worried about it, especially going probably into next format with Cool Tune, especially ripping your extra deck. There could probably be a world, again, where you play 2 Promethean Princess and 2 Arbiter, just to avoid the extra deck ripping. And then the other Link 3, it never came up. This is just a fill spot. I didn't know what to put here, so I had a Heat Soul because I'm playing a small package, but I never did. I never went into it. The idea is that depending on if you have a really weird hand and you'd want to maybe draw into maybe an extra hand trap like a Droll or something, you could go into this line, but it never came up. Link 2s, you are playing SP, IP, and early is only here again for Heat Soul package. I made it once, but that was just because I was firelocked and I needed a generic Link monster I could go into to clear something off my field. I never made. I made a few times. These 2 cards, honestly, you probably don't need. You don't even make IP as your part of your end board anymore. So you, in reality, there I just mentioned there, that's 3 flex spots like IP, Heat Soul, and early. You could swap for basically anything else probably if you want. Other Link 2s, you're playing 1 Sunlight Wolf, absolutely mandatory. A newer one, Burning Blade. This card, I love it. This card is so good. This is what makes you not lose to Lightning Storm or Duster anymore, because I was always ending on this. My end board was always this and Arbiter. Always. That was my end board all the time. For my monsters, it was this and an Arbiter. This just protects all your back row all the time. Nightmare Phoenix, solid. It's a fire. It deals with back row. One of this deck's hardest things to deal with at the moment. So it's very mandatory, I think, to play Nightmare Phoenix. Last of the Link monsters, Hida. Again, mandatory. Helps you Link climb if they ash you. Link Rebo and Almirage. Almirage is only here because, again, if you have to use Quick Attacker and you get Fire Locked, you need to have an option to go into. Link Rebo is here for the Heat Soul line. So in some worlds, if you don't think that Link Rebo is that important, you could maybe swap it for an Anima, but against better players, Anima will never come up, and Link Rebo might come up. And you could maybe play Axis Code if you wanted, could. In some world, you might be able to. And last card is just Typhon. It happened one game where I was going through my entire extra deck, and then I went into SP, banished something, and then SP was my last muster, and I made Typhon on top of SP as a part of my end board. It was so cool. Typhon really good. As for the side deck there, slightly not standard is Meows. I found that Meows helps in some better matchups that you already kind of struggle with compared to something like Perulia. If you imagine what it's good against, it's good against Yummy, it's good against Vanquish Soul Canine, but other than that, Perulia is pretty mediocre in my opinion. I think Meows actually feels better into some of the harder matchups. So something like Elftnote, they build a crazy board that is like near unbreakable, right? So you need something like they revive a lot from their grave because they go into the synchro that revives, the trap revives. So I still need to do more testing, but it was pretty good. I didn't have a lot of complaints about it. There was no games that I played, mind you, it was a very small local that I felt I wanted to rule out instead. 3 nib. I just didn't. I sided it once into a couple of games. I think I didn't see it, but it was fine. Nib is probably still needed. It just helps keep combo decks in check. Just make sure you have an option for them. Retaliating C. I didn't side this in once. I didn't have a matchup it was good against. This card is only good against Dracotail, but you still need to have it because Dracotail is the best deck. So it's fine, I guess. Because it doesn't even do that much against Mitsurugi because they can still get stuff back with Kusanagi. But you just need this here for Dracotail. That's it. We are playing 2 Droll and 1 Talents. Droll so close to being main deckable. Oh, I would really love to play Droll in the main deck, but it's not quite viable enough, I think, to main deck. It's like for some decks maybe. And then Talents is Talents. Again, this card can solo games on its own. This could probably be something else. It's not needed. It's like a 50-50 card, right? It's either dead or it's OP, right? But it's fine. And last 3 cards in the side deck, I was playing 3 evenly matched. Dracotail can't do anything against evenly unless they make the Sanctifier Dragon, which they can give you a guy. But for the most part, evenly is really good against a lot of decks right now. Not everything is building like Omni Negates. If you think about Cool Tune, there are ways to play around the RS. You have stuff like Droplet, which you can obviously chain. Pairing these 2 together is an auto win against any board, basically. But evenly feels pretty good. It helps deal with against a bunch of slightly off meta decks. So it felt good. It was fine. Alright, so that is there for the deck list. Again, like Rescue Ace hasn't changed much in the past few months, especially even with the new support. Like the deck hasn't changed a lot. It's a deck that I've played since release, and I know how bad it used to be. It still feels fairly competent. It is nice that I do always have a fallback in case other decks aren't interesting in my fantasy. So Rescue Ace is always there as a backup, and I do think there are still some minor things you can change. Like obviously, you should be playing Dominus Impulse. That is no question. That is the reason probably to play this deck. But again, I don't have them, so I tried without them, and they felt fine enough. But you should be playing that 100%. That's it for the deck list there. I am in a couple weeks the Blazing Dominion premiere. I will probably be taking Doomsy if I can get enough of the cards. And that's a very interesting format that's coming up, so we'll see what happens then. Okay, that's all for the video. Peace out.